Hi, welcome back to another SuperPanicFrenzy podcast. It's been 2 weeks since our last one. Guys, before we start this, I just want to say we do have new mics. There are no pop filters for them, so avoid the word P. Avoid the letter P.
Pronouncing P's would be preposterous right now.
Pussy. So, I'm here joined with my old pal Jeremy.
Hello.
And my relatively new pal, Morgan.
It's Maud. Hello.
And recently, Maud hurt me.
Oh, but... What? Damn it, that was a really good one. That hurt really bad, too. Fuck.
I know, I'm sorry, that's why.
Oh, shit. I just went blind in my left eye.
How is it looking? How's it
Is it? Can you notice it anymore?
I mean, I'm not going to say that there's not a scar.
Wonderful.
That was my favorite blooper that you guys have uploaded in weeks and weeks. I
Just
watched
because
it
I was harmed in it?
probably 100 times, and yes, that's exactly why.
And in my defense, like, when I was acting, I committed, but as soon as I realized that I'd actually broken your skin, I crumbled. I was so apologetic.
I didn't
Now,
know
though,
you had it in you to hurt someone. Honestly.
I can be very sadistic if it was required of me.
What's the most you've ever hurt anyone in your entire life?
Let's
Physically.
find out. Ready?
Good. Kill me.
Was
What
that
if I
the
just
most?
started crying? Just on, but
I don't think I'd be very surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Sorry. We know what's going to happen, though. It's like, oh, so she gets to punch him and he doesn't get to punch her.
Doesn't he?
no.
Go on.
I honestly
Please
have
serve
never
me, I
hit
haven't
anyone in my
bothered.
entire life.
Never ever?
I've never been in a fight,
No bar brawl?
and I never will, because I'm a gentleman.
I don't know. You would talk yourself into a fight you couldn't get out of for sure.
I never talk myself in. You know what? In the
I am
surprise-
really shocked that that has not happened to you
especially
at
because
some
I lived in
point.
Chicago.
You lived in Chicago?
Yeah. You'd
Oh,
think
boy.
that out of all the terrible things, because I haven't changed over the years. I have to say the same disgustingly racist things now that I have in the past, and
I don't think they're racist. I just think they're racially insensitive. It's a step below actual racism.
Danny at the office explained it the other day. She's like, if you weren't so charming, then everything you'd say would be horrible. And in a few years, when you grow a beard, it's all going to be bad.
Ooh.
I imagine there's going to be a
Can
point
you
in my
can
life.
you just straight up not grow a beard? Have you tried?
I'm looking at a few hairs here. They're quite long, which makes it even more seedy. But there's just like, I can count 8 of them.
8 hairs.
Dispersed in.
There's
like,
another one.
Like it's not even attached to your sideburn, and then randomly 3 pop out there, and then another inch down. There's like 2 weird ones that have nothing to do with each other. It's
It's sort of like a treasure map
We should get a pen and play connect the dots.
with a facial happy trail.
hey, one day you too will be a man.
I don't think so. My dad can barely grow a beard, so I think I'm pretty much set for the rest of my life. This is how I'm going to look.
You're not a hairy man.
No. Besides the pubes. Let's fucking get it.
That's
Okay.
all.
You know what's coming up this week? Actually, tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is now 3 days ago, because this uploads on Saturday, but VidCon.
We're at VidCon.
We're
well-
there right now.
Are we actually? Yeah, we are at VidCon right now. Maybe I won't, because honestly, I may go back home after the first table talk thing that I do in case the event sucks, because I live so close.
I don't know if it will. I think it will be pretty fun for you guys, actually, because SourceFed are super popular. They're going to have tons of kids there. That's where they get to meet all the fans.
Oh no! I've just
Maud
realized,
hates little kids.
no, I just realized I've forgotten to pack like the antibacterial stuff.
Speaking of Maud hating little things, we actually brought some little people onto the show. Let's bring them out.
Ha ha.
I'm so sorry. Like,
I don't have a phobia of little people. I have automatonophobia, which is the fear of an inanimate
Say what
object
now?
coming to life.
Automatonophobia?
Yes.
Automatonophobia.
Yes.
That's fun to say.
The fear of something inanimate coming to life. And I don't-
onomatopoeia.
and it's not like crippling in any way. It's just that something that I thought wasn't alive, it became alive, and my head didn't adjust it, and fear kicked in, and then boom.
There's
phobia.
something insensitive there. So let's move on to my fears, bees. But then back to VidCon. What are you guys?
Whoa, bees! Did you watch My Girl and you're like, that'll happen to me one day?
Nope. I think it was just it sprouted from when I was riding a bike as a kid. My mom was she freaked out and I fell off the bike.
Have you ever
She's
even
afraid
been
of
stung
bees.
by a bee?
No,
So what are you so afraid of?
Jeremy, they buzz right by your ear.
I would be
What's there
more
not to be
scared of
afraid
a
of?
wasp, because if a bee bites you, its stinger is removed from its body and placed into you, and it's like a kamikaze thing.
Yeah, a
So once
wasp
it
is
gets
way
you,
worse. They can sting you repeatedly.
It dies.
There's
Yeah.
the worst bug of them all, and that is the tarantula hawk, which can be found in L.A. If you guys didn't know that, it's about yay big, and it has one of the most painful stings in the world. Only below a bullet ant.
You're talking about things that scare you I'm Australian. We have snakes and spiders that when they bite you, you have half an hour to find help or you die. Oh no, but tell me again about this tarantula.
Yeah, we have, like, horse
The
flies.
tarantula hawk, when it stings you, hurts real bad.
Oh no, it's bad.
What other?
That's
What?
sweet.
How many
You should
things
just
can
come
kill
to
you?
Australia for like 2 weeks.
I think there are literally thousands of harmful species.
I think it's like 7 out
in
of the top
Australia.
10 deadliest snakes are in Australia.
Have you ever seen a great white shark?
Yes.
Have
I've
you really?
got so many horror stories about it too. There was like in Adelaide, this is like happened to a friend of a friend, so I take it with a grain of salt, I guess. But it was their wedding night, so they got married and they're on their honeymoon, and he went out for a morning surf, and she watched him get eaten by a shark.
Watched him?
Well, yeah, what could she do? It's like it just happened to Mick Fanning at the surfing tournament.
Yeah, I
the
saw
week.
that.
That was 2 great white sharks, I'm pretty sure. And I swear to God, they use like the velociraptor technique, where one distracts you while the other one comes in from the side.
Why did he not get hurt?
Because if you watch it in slow mo, he gets distracted this way, and then he gets slapped, I think, almost by like their fin to knock him off the board. And I was like, clever girl.
To survive that though would be epic.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically the coolest person in the world right now.
Yeah.
I could
He
never be
punched the
mistaken
shark.
for
Yeah,
a
he
seal.
punched the shark in the back.
That's what you have to do. You got to punch it and show
I'm
his
far
guts.
too bony to be mistaken for any aquatic creature.
No. It's your food. You're alive.
Have you ever been mistaken for a seal?
By a shark? No.
No, the singer.
All the time.
All the time, it's crazy.
Every
Talking to the mic, Mod!
Every time I do
Make sure
karaoke.
you're looking at the logo. Oh my God! Who put it that way?
Have you heard me this entire
Oh
time?
my god. Yeah, I did, but not that well.
I'm here, guys. I say funny things sometimes.
Well, let's move on to the most important. Actually, what do you have planned for VidCon?
Me?
Yeah, personally, you.
I'm just going to go to panels and talk to people.
Are you on a panel?
No.
I've seen Jeremy work it as well. You were quite popular at the parties at Comic-Con. People would be like, hey, Jeremy, I want to impress you. And you're like, back up 3
Do you
steps.
know everyone in
Yeah,
the industry?
When you go to Comic-Con or VidCon or any of these things like years and
Can I
years,
see you? Big heads in the way.
when you go several years in a row, you start to like have your friends that you see there, and
Do you still enjoy it if you've been going for 7 years? Or
yeah,
is it,
actually,
or is it a task?
I don't know. I felt like it was going to be a task, but when we actually, that's why we didn't put up a stream last week, or was it last week? Whatever. Anyway, so we were all at Comic-Con, and I thought it was going to be kind of a chore, but it was actually super fun.
Can I move my head back?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
go
Cool. Awesome.
And yeah, and we did all kinds of crazy shit, and because it was so active, yeah, it didn't really feel like a chore at all. We
There's a few things I did I wasn't proud of.
yeah, there was one very humiliating incident that
I want to say that I've grown as a person, but I haven't. I've learned
Yeah.
to hate myself for the first time.
I mean, I think it's going to require a little bit of therapy on my part.
What
The
was this
bill
event?
will be coming. So for SourceFed Nerd, we wrote a bunch of different characters and put the names in the hat, and
Not just any characters though, like characters, like really stupid characters.
yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, like the worst that we
so
could think
that's
of.
why you got Jar Jar.
I pulled out Jar Jar Binks, and we had about $100 and 3 hours to build cosplay for it.
$100 in 3 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's kind of
because you bloody thought this was a great idea. We pulled you in on it. and
yeah. You were like a siren, and I heard this laughter. I thought it was laughter. I
No.
realized later they were screams.
I had an adult's
and I
tantrum.
came to see what it was, and you guys were like, "Oh, you're gonna be in this video," and I was like, "The hell you say?" And you had me pick out of the hat. I got Kermit the Frog.
Otherwise known as I'm nearly naked, but apart from a thin layer of clothing
Was the bulge
hugging
there?
tightly to my body.
Was the bulge there?
Yes. This is so inappropriate to say, but yes.
Yeah, I asked him if he wore a sock earlier to make it bigger. He's like, I didn't need one.
Yeah.
That's Jeremy.
It was enough trouble as it was. I can't
You
tell
could
you
tell
how
which side
awkward
you were
I
sitting
felt. What's that?
You know, pretty soon you're gonna be able to say that you have a dad dick.
A dad dick?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Oh
No!
that's one of the high five.
That was me like wincing back from
Yeah,
what you were
because no,
saying.
because Jeremy's having a child. So
It's a dad bod.
no, dad dick.
I'm
A
trying
dad
not
dick.
to have a
Yeah.
dad
So
bod.
what the hell, Mod? Oh my God.
A dad bod is a particular style of body, but
That's not a style.
where are you going with this?
Yeah,
This
what-
is-
what
Have you
is-
never
where are going
seen
with
like
this dad dick?
what movie was that from? Dad Dick. Is that no? It
Are
was
you thinking of Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby?
No. Oh, it was Bill Cosby's dick.
And
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
think this
That's crazy.
conversation could get more
I've seen
uncomfortable.
his dicks on so many occasions. Hey, what do you guys have planned for VidCon though? Like, what do you have? I already asked Jeremy. He said he has a couple panels, but you have
This
some.
is my first time.
we have actually something special planned for VidCon, Mod and I both. It is a table talk. I had such a good turnaround of feedback for the first table talk that I was on. They decided to have me on another. So this time I'm pretty sure that in the comments it's not going to say, I really hate that white guy. This time it's going to be like, that guy, moderately tolerable. Moderately tolerable.
I like
That's
that.
a big step up.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
proud
so.
of you.
You know, I did I did a white wall recently and the Source Web podcast, and people were genuinely widely accepting of me, which was fantastic.
That's cute. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
I felt real good, actually, for the first time in
I
my
actually
whole life.
think that's a common thing with this audience, and that's part of what I really love about SourceFed and the people that watch it is when you go on camera, even if you're not usually on camera, instead of being like, who is this fucking asshole? I hate this guy. They're usually like, oh, that seems like an interesting person. You should have him on again. Like, I've never seen that on
They
the
didn't say
internet.
that
I
the
didn't
first
think that
time for me.
existed on the internet. You know
They
what
did
I mean?
not say that the first time.
They say very sweet things in like Twitter. They'll quote something that I'd said that in a video,
Well, you're widely loved
and they,
for some reason.
yeah.
Well, they do talk about, anally defiling you relatively frequently.
Oh yeah. They
Well,
want.
you both.
Me, yeah, they do talk about that for me too. Holy shit!
Apparently, there's like an invitation sign over my butt.
To foil me anally?
Uh,
Oh, that's the new water down by the river. To foil me anally.
Oh no.
To foil me.
No.
foil.
Oh.
Excuse me, everyone. I have a Tinder message.
Oh, this is
Really?
important.
It is very
Would
important.
you
Well,
give
read
me
it
your,
out loud.
Would you give me your phone for 5 minutes? Would you give it?
Hey,
to
that's
go
a definite no because I see this going somewhere.
on Tinder.
How long have you been talking
With
to this person?
Jemima.
Guys, like a day and a half. But we're gonna all take a gander at her butt real quick, everybody.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice.
I
don't
can
hate it.
appreciate a good bottom.
Oh yeah, that's a definite yes.
There's a skirt I can't wear into work anymore because I caught a couple of people. In fact, I believe the movement was, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna burn this skirt.
As you walk by, or
No,
What's happening?
I was standing there, like ready to record the video, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Can you get out of that?" What? Oh,
Mhm.
and then I was just like,
I've felt your butt before.
"Oh, you did? You grabbed it?"
Well, I had
when
to.
was this?
This was a
Ugh,
while
right
ago.
here.
It was literally on this couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
you had
you'd
to.
like do a joke, and he just was like, "Oh, this is a joke. I will take it
Okay.
10 steps further."
Here's the thing, though. I had just had a really good weekend, and I was still in that zone.
And so you thought you would be a
No,
hiney
I
hobbit
felt
and
bad.
just like
I felt-
sneak a peek, or what?
I felt bad afterwards. And I was like, well,
did, actually.
hey, HR, let's call me up real quick. This is a video recording of my confession, actually. Wow, I just realized that. So recently I did something I'm not too proud of.
If you
and,
too would like a job on a gaming channel, send in your resume this week.
Yeah, we'll be looking very soon.
It was an accidental grab.
It was definitely two hands.
It was a wardrobe malfunction. But there was actually a point to this podcast this time.
Well,
There was a legitimate point, and now
we were
I
talking
remember.
about VidCon. It's your guys' first time
Ah,
at VidCon.
fuck VidCon.
We were talking about our
Jaded
dumb
already?
costumes that we wore at Comic-Con.
So yeah, I was Jar Jar Binks, but I couldn't wear the actual helmet, so I got 2 visors and tried to stick them
Yeah,
together. And the bucket
the
hat and
rule
the ears.
was that you couldn't like just buy a mask.
Oh.
So like you had to build whatever it was from scratch, and I can't believe that you actually managed to make something that looked even a little bit like Jar Jar Binks.
I really gave it a go. The worst part was just trying to. Oh, you got Twitter questions. I was just trying to put my heart and soul into it, but then when people were like, "Oh, you're Jar Jar,"
You were in character though.
I tried to do
Like,
the walk, and I
Ooh,
was
can
like,
you do the voice?
"Miss, I want that picture," and then they were like, "Oh, can we get a photo?"
It was pretty great.
And they were like, "Can we get a photo of you?" And I was like, "I'll only let you take a photo if I can do this." And so every photo was just like me, like, and I was just like dirt behind my eyes. Oh my goodness! Oh,
He's dying over here.
man down, man down. And then every time when I was walking through, because I actually looked up videos on what he says, and the only things I could say is "miss up something," and then "excuse me."
Excuse me. I bought Mata an action figure, a playset.
Oh, this is like the
shitty,
most lovely dick move you've ever done ever. I was like, I got you something. I thought of you straight away. I got it at Comic-Con. I was like, that's so sweet. That's
so
a lovely
regret not
thing.
going to Comic-Con.
And then you present to me a Star Wars figurine.
It's a playset.
Of the worst thing about Star Wars. It's young Annie, little Annie, Jar Jar Binks, and Sebulba.
Yeah. And they're fighting. They're fighting over like a monkey fetus or something.
That thing that he goes to eat, and
Yeah.
it's still attached to the stand.
Like
and it's
like
gets
any kid would be
tense.
sitting there being like, I want to reenact that moment in the movie. And he talks. He says, "Misa doing nothing."
And I'm like, I was so excited to get this present, and my my face must have dropped. Like, I must have had a look of such disappointment on my face, and you're like so happy to give it to me. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was like, you bastard.
That whole giant set cost less than like one of any other figure.
Yeah. You're like, can I buy this one? They're like,
They're like, just take
it.
Get it out of here.
Just give it away.
Dude,
I'll put it next to my Rancor that I bought from Celebration. And
We
just
could hardly
hopefully
get
he'll
people
eat
to
them.
take pictures with Maud
I can't.
because of her Jar Jar costume. All they wanted to take pictures with was Steve in his like fucking box costume.
Oh, Tars.
Yeah.
He made
Was
a
that
really
from
good
Interstellar?
Tars. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Tars from Interstellar. That was like the dumbest idea I could come up with for a costume, but it actually came.
Yo, I
out
can't
okay.
handle those Jar Jar impersonations like that. Let's just move on, please. I can't.
Should we go back to you underappreciating VidCon?
Underappreciating VidCon. What? Oh, yeah, fuck VidCon. Let's move on to the Twitter questions. So we actually asked you guys very recently. I was thinking with Jeremy, I was like, what honestly could we do? Like, that would be funny. We're all very experienced in many relationships, and we are all extraordinarily
I've never
gifted.
had a 2-year anniversary with someone.
What's the longest you've been in a relationship with someone?
like nearly 2 months? 2 years. Nearly 2
Nearly
months.
2 years? Okay,
Nearly
so
2 years.
I've been in a relationship for, I think, like a year. And then, Jeremy, you've been in one for 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been in one a while, and he's married, and he's about to have a chachi out on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little girl, right?
Yeah.
It's a baby
Have you figured out a name?
I haven't yet,
No,
but
but we know what it's not going to be.
Steve.
Not going to call it Maud.
I'm
I
not
had a
gonna
word
call it
with
Maud.
you about that.
yeah, it's
Like,
not
as a
even
girl,
on
I
the
was
list.
like, we need to let's sit down.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I appreciate the
Not
suggestion.
even as a joke.
And we asked you all via hashtag #SuperRelationshipFrenzy to give us some relationship questions, and as the best internet advice column relationship-wise, we will provide you with the answers that you so deserve. And the first question is from Your Worst Nightmare. How do I eat that booty like groceries? Mod, you first. How do you eat that booty like groceries, Mod? Okay, Jeremy.
Well, I'm assuming that the groceries include meat, vegetables, fluids, all of the things that would normally be in a grocery bag. So I
Well,
think you
there's
kind of
always a breadstick.
yeah.
Have
there's
you
always,
noticed that? In any television show or movie, if
Yeah.
there's a bag of groceries, there's a bloody bread
Or like a
not
baguette or
bloodied-
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
So I
Sorry.
think you kind of, if you're gonna eat the booty, you probably want to remove the breadstick or the baguette first.
That would get in the way.
It could be an
Or
obstruction.
it could become
I think you
your
use
ally.
whatever
I would
fluids,
eat it, honestly. That's
that
not
are in
gonna-
your grocery
it's only gonna
bag?
be giving carbs.
like milk, perhaps.
Mm.
You use that to lubricate the rest of
Okay.
the groceries, and then you just sort of dive in head first.
You know, I did notice the difference, and I'm sure because you made me move my head back before, it's weird not being able to see someone, isn't it? When they're talking, yeah. Eventually, maybe we'll set up something else, but for now, just imagine, here, Jeremy, talk.
Yes, hello. Oh, so we can be like a puppet. That's
I
pretty
can
cool.
hear like the little that of your mouth when you're moving it. This is probably one of the worst sounds.
The little noises.
Ooh, I hate it too. Do you guys get pissed when people chew really loudly?
Dude, I
And
hate
people,
it.
I can't stand when people breathe really heavily behind me. Oh my god. It's like if someone's like,
Yes, no, I know that one. Yeah, I'm the same.
I'm just,
I'm really fast as well. It's like, yeah.
it's like, hey, go outside for a jog like twice a week. You bastard. Let's move on to the next question. I wanted to marry a potato. Nope. How do I get a girl? Oh, here's a good one. From Your Worst Nightmare, the same person. How do I get out of the friend zone?
You know what? You're in the friend zone for a reason, and if it hasn't happened, it probably won't. But I would probably make the best of the situation, and if she's a good person to have, then enjoy the fact that you're in the friend zone. It doesn't have to be a shit thing. I think it gets a bad name, the friend zone.
Yeah, here's the thing that people don't talk about with the friend zone is that your friend also has friends. So maybe your friendship with her would make you more attractive to her other girlfriends.
Stop being so desperate for it as well.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that the friend zone, unless you're super ugly, is never the final resting position. Okay? I think...
Very optimistic look at it.
Yeah.
I think...
Oh, I have definitely, like back in Australia, a lot of my friends, you'll get there, trust me. Depends on the night and the circumstance, but yeah, friend zone can definitely do a 180.
That's a thing though. Like you could possibly hook up with the person, but they're not gonna like fall in love with you all of a sudden. Like that's not.
Oh, I agree with that. That's not what I'm talking about at all. You're screwed there if
you're in the friend zone, you want a relationship, and it hasn't happened. I just don't see that happening. I think you just accept that relationship for what it is. Maybe you can leverage it into something with one of her friends. Maybe you can get drunk and hook up with her, but I think that's the end of it.
So your friend zone's cool, drunk hookup, and look for the friends.
Yeah.
One more thing. Like, if you're friends with someone, and this is going to have a subconscious shallowness about it, but you'll notice that with friends, like, you're all consistently kind of at the same level, I guess, like number out of 10. Mm-hmm. Like you don't see a bunch of 9s hanging out with a 1 in a way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So if you're friends with someone, there is subconsciously a level of attraction in there somewhere, whether it's an attraction to their personality, an attraction to them as a person, or, in a physical sense. But there's like, the attraction is the acceptance of a friendship. Does that make sense?
I just am friends with people so I can use them, no matter what number they are.
How do you have friends?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. So the next question comes from Nimajuteran. And this is a question specifically for Mod, saying, I was about to get to third base with a girl, but she had a chicken tender in her vagooter. Is it okay to eat it? That's not a question specifically for Mod.
What did he call it? A vagooter?
Yeah, vagooter. Like a gaping maw.
I've never...
Oh my god, that's almost like gaping mod. Oh.
I've never heard of a vagooter before, so I'll give them 10 points to Gryffindor for that one. Actually, I'll give 10 points to Gryffindor.
Do you want the 10 points?
Was she trying to
You're gonna take them from that person?
Was she trying to have sex with the chicken before she was like, that's not doing it, I'm going to try with you instead?
Let me repeat the question. I was about to get to third base with a girl, but she had a chicken tender in her vagooter. Is it okay to eat said chicken tender?
Yeah, but are you going to go back and satisfy her as well afterwards? Or are you just going to be like, I wanted to eat out, and I did. I ate some chicken.
Okay, next
the
question.
Other white meat.
The other
that
coming
was
from
a troll question.
How do you pronounce this name?
Lexi Lou?
Okay. How do I snag someone who is out of my league?
Confidence.
Confidence, really?
Yes, trust me.
What if you have none?
I have a few guys that I've dated. I'm like, I do not know how, but the better looking a girl, sometimes the bigger of a bitch they are. It can happen.
Wait, how's the
pretty girl
bitch thing related to it?
Because pretty girl syndrome.
What is pretty girl syndrome?
Pretty girl syndrome means that the small issues are really, really big to them. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's like 85 degrees. I hate today. Today sucks because it's 85 degrees and I wanted it to be 80 degrees.
I'm dying.
So really, really small issues become really, really big deals to pretty girls.
I'm literally dead.
And because they're pretty, they get like everything kind of comes a little easier to them. And because of that, they don't have to be as nice.
Okay.
And because of that, they can have a tendency to be a little bit bitchy.
Now I find that a lot of guys are always like trying to placate that sort of behavior. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to do?
Ooh, I am not like that at all.
Can I do this like that? Like in my experience, like completely like ignoring that and
way better.
And even kind of shutting it down.
Yes.
Like works
they get away
in a way.
with it. So when you don't tolerate it, it snaps them out and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a turn on for them.
If you combine that with being sort of almost comically overconfident, like I've seen guys that are just like total schlubs, but they're just ridiculously overconfident, pull some serious wool, just by
But also be authentic. If you really do have an understanding of who you are and you have like a genuine confidence, it resonates and it's in a really attractive quality. So I think, don't take their pretty girl syndrome shit. But also like that whole game, like the book, where it's like if you insult a girl.
Yeah, it's not like negging. Like we're not talking about insulting girls. We're talking about just not placating bad behavior.
But how do we switch this up? How do we? Because we're only talking about the girls' side of this. What about a dude that's out of a girls' league? Get him drunk.
No.
I can't even imagine a scenario.
Make him laugh.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't make it all about, oh, I look like this and this is how pretty I am. If you literally there's a great story. Didn't mean to hit on a particular person, but he was so kind of blown away by the move that he was like on me, and I was like, whoa, I didn't mean that. And he's like one of the only male supermodels in the world. And what it was, we're at the bar, and I got served first, and I was just like,
rewind.
2 tequilas, please. And I had one, and I just slid a shot over to him.
So you pulled a supermodel, is what you're
supermodel.
saying.
I bought him a drink, and that obviously would never have happened before. And he was just like, "Oh, baby girl," and I was like, "No, I'm just being nice. So just have a."
Did he say, "Oh, baby girl"?
There's a lot of baby girl.
Was he
happening.
Mario? Oh, a baby girl. Was he actually like a male supermodel, like a legitimate Wow, that's awesome.
And I was like panicky. And he's like, baby girl, you can come back to my hotel. And I was like, no, thank you.
But you did, though.
No, I didn't.
I would have.
And the next morning, I was like, hey, Mum, Google this name. And she was like, oh!
Oh, my Mom!
She was like, tell me that happened.
I'm
And I was
British.
like, no, I didn't.
Why did you chicken out, man?
She said, oh, I always said that if I wasn't with your father, I'd be with a big black man. And I was like, okay.
Does she always say that?
She was really upset that she couldn't live vicariously through that.
That's better than Jar Jar. That's better than Jar Jar. Oh, my God. Yeah. Let's move on to the next question.
So that's the confidence thing.
Wow. What is the best way to ask a girl out?
Hey, what are you doing later?
Oh, sorry, that's eat. No, it's actually ask, sorry.
You have to just do it.
No cheesy cliches, no one-liners.
No pickups. Yeah, it's just a lot of pretty girls don't get asked out that frequently. I think guys are afraid to talk to them. So if you just walk up and say like,
but
hey,
build rapport. I know that like I've had a few times where a guy would be like, hi, don't ask my name, don't have a conversation. I think you're pretty. I want to take you to dinner. And I was like, I don't know anything about you. You've got to have some sort of chemistry or connection.
Do people really do one-liners? Like I thought that was just a myth.
Oh.
No, Mod, you can't be serious.
Yeah, you must have experienced this at some point.
And I was like, get out! What are you doing? He's like, oh, I was just checking your tag to see if you're from heaven.
Oh!
Wow.
No. That's so bad.
Did he say it like scared like you just did?
Yeah, because I went, what the hell are you doing? Get out!
No way people are actually...
Don't touch me!
That doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense to me. Like, you can't... No one ever does... Don't do one-liners, ever.
No.
Never do that.
No, it's really simple. Just kind of have a chat with them. And if you feel... If the conversation's not like... Yeah, good. Thanks.
It can't be purely physical unless you're buying a drink for a supermodel.
What kind of girl does a one-liner work on? I'm baffled.
No kind of girl. And I mean,
do you know any girls?
There is a level of handsomeness that you could be where you could probably get away with literally anything. Isn't there?
No.
I gotta side with Jeremy on this one. I feel like if you're Taylor Lautner and you go up to a girl and be like, "Did you fall from heaven because I got that pussy?" You're gonna just immediately Taylor Lautner sex night.
I feel like one thing a guy can always do is just be hella tall. Like if you're freakishly tall, I have a couple friends that are like 6'7". Walk in anywhere, walk out with a girl just for being tall, because the girl will just come up to them and go literally every single time.
Am I not in that height range?
You're almost.
Oh,
not quite. But if you're freakishly tall, a girl will always walk up to the guy and be like, "You're really tall."
And that's the icebreaker.
And that's it. And he's like, "Yeah."
So you have to be really something.
Yeah. What are you really?
Well, 6'3".
No, I mean like you got to be like really something.
You're really tall. You're really interesting. You're really fun. You're really
6'3".
Oh.
Okay,
well,
so
that's a start.
You're really basic.
I have another friend zone. God, everyone's friend zoned. How do I wreck homes like Steven Subject? That's a different podcast that we talked about that. That's a whole different story for another time. Actually, you were there, weren't you? Yeah, when I talked about the home wrecking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a whole time. Why is Steve a one-pump chump? That's not true. How do you know when she wants the D? Ah, the age-old question.
Because she'll find ways to touch you.
Really?
Yes. if
Jeremy, you
she's-
touch me all the time.
If she's interested in you,
Yeah.
you'll have a habit of just like, oh my god, that was funny.
That's so
Yeah.
sick, guys.
That's what they
That's
do.
so
They just
good.
touch you.
Let me get
you
that
know?
D
They just-
though. Let me get
They're
guys.
like, hey.
Can I get that
Body
funny D?
language. Recognize body language. Eye contact. If she's laughing at your jokes, which kind of weren't that funny at all. If she's playing with her hair, it's these little things that girls don't even know that they're doing that kind of gives off the vibe.
You see, sometimes I notice it too late. Sometimes I'll turn around and I've been talking to this girl for an hour, and my mind
she
is
was
blank.
talking to you for an hour.
Yeah, but then I
She
turn-
stuck around for an hour.
Yeah, I turn around and she's like-
with you.
She's like fingering herself, and it's like then I realize.
Okay.
But that's about that.
Okay, first that technique is all wrong.
I'm just patting my cooter. Why does my
How
girlfriend?
many names do you know for a vagina?
Lyle
Can you get
taught
to
me a
10?
lot.
Can you get to 10? Go.
Maw, Vagooter,
Maw.
Cooter,
Vagooter
Clam
and
gobbler.
Cooter is so similar. Clam
Trench.
gobbler.
Sweat barrier,
Don't forget Sliz.
Sliz, yeah. That's about it. Actually, that's the extent of my Vagooter knowledge.
7.
Oh, vagina.
8.
Does that count?
Lauren Cordelia asks, why does my girlfriend never text me, but when I see her in person, she seems really happy to see me? Now, that is actually something that I do to everyone.
Yes. Do
I
you know
hate
what happens?
texting.
This. Shimmy your phone. It's like, oh, anyway, ding ding. Okay. And then da-da-da-da. That's all that it was. It wasn't, I'm not going to text him. It's, when I get a second, I'll get straight back to that.
It's like
and
that for me.
forget.
Anytime anyone ever texts me, I'm just like, oh, fuck. And then I never text back.
Do you get so many texts?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
I got 8 texts from Claire today about some stupid meetup I'm supposed to do.
Because she wants you to. That's a business
you
text,
like?
man. That's like.
What is it that you
Let me see my most
like?
recent text.
'Cause
Let's see
there's a
this.
lot of things
I mean,
that
I
you
understand.
don't
I understand not wanting to respond to a phone call. That's kind of annoying. Like, who calls people on the
I
phone?
prefer a phone call.
anymore.
No.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I never answer my
absolutely.
phone.
Yeah.
Let's see. I respond to Lyle always.
A text is easy to respond to.
I was like, hey, here's actually a funny text between Lyle. Would you be able to come in and do a couple videos in the stream by yourself tomorrow? He's like, I think I'll pass. Sounds like a pretty heavy day that I don't get paid enough to run the show. I was just like, oh, Lyle, you're the best.
He's so cynical.
I love
My
him.
goodness.
Oh, back to questions. Oh, wait.
What was the question though?
The
What?
question
My
wa-
girlfriend doesn't text me back, but when I
Oh.
see her in person,
Yeah, it's just
Man,
fine.
listen. If you have a good relationship with the girl in person, I don't understand why you're worried about some bullshit like what she's doing where she's not texting.
I
you.
do. That person that your girlfriend currently has a lot on her plate and has like a busier lifestyle. As soon as you don't have a lot to do, you focus on that one thing, and 20 minutes feels like 4 hours. Whereas
Yeah.
if you're busy, 20 minutes feels like 2 seconds.
Or she doesn't love you.
What is love? Baby,
Don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me. No
No
more.
more.
No more.
So I think we've all uncovered the true meaning of love.
When did you know you're in love with your wife, Jeremy?
I don't know. That's
you
really
say
hard
it
to say.
first?
It was kind of a similar thing where we both kind of said it at the same time.
Like literally at the same time, you're just like, okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, it just came up in like the same moment. You know what I mean?
I was thinking bananas too. No, I was thinking I love you, but like bananas are cool too.
Yeah.
I love bananas.
That's exactly
That's
what
a
it's
sitcom
that's,
moment.
that's what it's like.
Guys, we should write a sitcom. What would our sitcom be?
What is love?
Eat that ass like groceries.
2 Jews and an Aussie. Wait, we're not Jewish, are we?
Neither of us
Oh,
are.
you're German. That's right.
You're German.
Was that a snort?
Oh.
No, it's adorable. That's great. Kind of. Well, now that I think about it, it's actually kind of gross. Bananas, though. How much? Oh, here we go. Jordan Glassford asks, how much lube should I use?
All of it.
Well, that'll be like a slippery slide, and bush.
But not too much.
Not too much.
If you use too much, it's
But
like
enough.
you almost can't feel anything.
Yeah. That's why I go dry. Every time. They bleed.
Oh,
Oh, God.
so gross.
Septic, you can't
Jesus
say
Christ.
stuff like that.
You don't know this channel.
Have some respect for women and what they have to put up with when they're having sex with you.
It is like a very traumatic experience, I can assure you.
You'll be doing everything you can to make it nice to
It's
them.
just like that. Why do you think sex is so important in today's society, asks Emma.
It's a form of expression. It's a way to
I think busting a nut makes you feel real
feel
good.
good. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
I think it's what we do everything for in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically,
Like, what's the point of being successful
To have
or, you know, taking a shower
To
or
have sex.
combing your hair, putting on nice clothes? You're just
to look
trying
fashionable.
but for what purpose?
I feel like if sex was that much of a priority, everyone would be so much more obsessed with their looks.
I feel like people are obsessed with their looks.
I feel like
Men
some
are
people just
more
give
obsessed
up.
with their looks than they've probably ever been.
Oh yeah.
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 I
Look
cleaned
at
my
what
ear
a couple
out
of little
recently.
Lord Fauntleroys we are, even. And I'm a grown ass man.
Oh, sex. I'm the only one here in my friends who. Oh no.
What's this?
Tara says, "You want to read it?"
Tara. Hey, Tara. Tara says, I'm the only one out of all my friends who hasn't had their first kiss. Help. Hey, I was one of the later, I was like 14 and a bit when I had my first kiss.
And a bitch.
You were a
And a
bitch?
bit.
Oh.
15 and a bit. A bit older than 14.
You know what's crazy is you tweeted us at the right time because if you're at VidCon, Jeremy's gonna kiss you.
No.
Wow,
sweet.
Jeremy, that's so nice. You're gonna be her
Aw,
first
she's
kiss.
I'm sure
Probably
that would be
underage.
illegal.
Yeah.
It's
It's okay. The first kiss is a pretty cool thing. I felt like I'd waited so long because everyone else was like, oh, well, I was like, what are you doing with your mouth?
I was 19 for my first kiss. 19 years old.
Were you really?
Yeah, really.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like after my senior year in high school. Yeah.
No,
I had never.
Wow.
I had never.
was
Yeah.
not.
I had never tried. Like I was always so afraid of rejection that I never bothered to try to like get with any girl.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
My first kiss, I was at a school dance, and I was just like, man, the first guy that asked me to dance, I'm just going to go in. And I just moved my head to the middle, and he just literally put his mouth on a washing cycle
Magic.
and just went everywhere. And then I think after 10 seconds of hell, it was done. And then I wiped my mouth on his shirt, and I wrung it out, and I was like, I did it!
Did you like scamper
What an
off after that?
achievement.
No, I kind of
Skedaddle.
It's a little bit of like happy tears and very, very
Oh.
sad tears.
Oh.
So I did it, and that wasn't nice. And
My
now
first kiss was
I feel
on a
like
tennis
I've got
court.
it down.
On a tennis court?
Yes.
Were you playing tennis?
I was. It was in the middle of the night. I was playing tennis with this girl.
Tennis hockey, tonsil hockey.
Tonsil hockey.
Oh, like
Yes.
tonsil tennis. God, that took me way too long. And
It's
it wasn't
tonsil
worth
hockey
it.
though. Is what's crazy about
But I
that.
tried to make it about.
You did, and I think we all can appreciate that.
Stop
Emotionally.
talking. We need to move on.
However, it was on a tennis court, and we were playing tennis, and I go over to the middle of the divider area, and I figured that this girl was like interested in everything.
19.
So let's move on. Jeremy, when was your first kiss?
God, I've
I
always
was
been
19 years
kissing
old,
girls.
yeah.
I don't really remember.
You don't remember your
Since
first
birth.
kiss?
Huh? Not really. I don't know. I just like I had like little girlfriends and stuff like
Little
always.
girlfriends.
Like from grade school.
You little Lothario.
Yeah. I didn't know. It was weird. I didn't know that I was like okay with girls. I didn't understand them or what was going on at all.
Oh, it is scary the first time.
Yeah.
Here's
Hold on. If you were 19, did you feel like you had a lot of catching up to do? And quickly?
No, I've never really cared too much about it. That's a lie. I just
19?
I just focus on work and stuff and try
feel
not to
like-
think about the dark times of my life. Because if I could go back to high school as I am now,
You're a different person?
yeah, well, much more confident for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, I just wish I could go back and not be a douche. You know?
What
When
made
were you a
a
douche?
I was just like, I was that guy that just thought he was fucking better than everyone. In the sense that, like,
But
where
you
I was...
were incredibly
even though
Yeah,
even though you weren't
crippling
kissing any
insecurities.
babes or
yeah,
anything?
exactly. I was just
Yeah.
so insecure that I just covered that up with trying to feel better than everyone, and then I just wouldn't go out of my way to talk to people really besides like a select group of friends, and I never tried to hook up with anyone. That's the biggest mistake you could probably make in high school, is being that turd or emo.
I think you've just got to avoid getting too serious about stuff. I remember like having a girlfriend that I was like so into and stuff, and we hung out all the time, but we were like kids, you know, so we weren't really like going steady or whatever. You had like, she wasn't wearing my jacket or all that stuff. Like they would
That's so
wear your jacket
American.
and do weird stuff like this. And then at one point I was like, do you want to be my actual girlfriend? And she was like, well, no, I'm going out with this other guy, Daniel. I'm like, oh, you son of a
Life
bitch.
lesson,
And I just like
man.
stopped talking to her, and I was so destroyed by it. And like this sort of thing would like happen where the first like kiss that I really remember was with this
Your
this-
dad, yeah.
yeah, my dad, and then he left me for my mom. No, it was with this girl, and I was like, oh, that was so cool. That was my first like real like kiss. Like this is the one I'm gonna remember. And then
Aw.
she ends up like going out with my friend Brandon like right after that, and I'm like, well, fucking shit.
Jeez, that's a rough one.
Yeah, but then there was like,
Oh, I was gonna say the first guy I ever asked out. I was 12 years old, and like they were all telling me that he thought I was cute, and he had braces and dimples, and I was like, oh, he's so cute.
Braces
and
and dimples.
I was like, did you want to go out with me? And he was like, same thing. I'm already going out with another girl. And I was like, okay. And I kicked him in the dick and ran away. That's how I handle rejection.
What about like the first person that you sleep with? Do you like immediately fall in love with them, or is it like really weird
No,
and you just like leave it alone?
He wasn't even my boyfriend. I was on and off with him for like 2-3 years until one day I just came over late at night and I was like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
And he was like, you sure? And I was like, oh yeah. And he's like,
That was your
"Okay."
first time?
Yeah, came twice.
He did or
That's
you did?
Solid.
I did.
Oh, high five.
Yeah, thank you.
That's real good. Good job.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't,
That gentleman knows what he's doing.
Ooh, actually, the advice that my very ridiculous. What's the best word to describe my mother?
Nefarious.
My mother.
Oblivious.
My mother's amazing, but she
Racist.
was also a sex
Definitely
therapist.
not racist based on her previous
that's
time.
true, yes.
Yeah.
My mom's made some very insensitive comments that I might disclose at a later.
But
I love you, Mom.
she basically, when I was in high school, when all my friends were having sex, she was just trying to explain that it's a really normal thing, and even kind of encourage me to go forth and
That's
conquer.
good.
Yeah, so she would, Maud, Father and I are going away this weekend. Just look at your bedside table. There's a bunch of condoms and lube there.
Oh, that's
if you-
good.
If you want to maybe invite a nice boy around. So of course,
Wow.
didn't know it at
Australia's
the time.
awesome.
It was reverse psychology. And so I'd ring up my best friend Sophie and be like, I can't stay at home this weekend because there's condoms in my side drawer. I have to stay at
Wait,
yours."
how old are you?
I was like 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 16. And
I
then-
am still barely able to talk to my parents about sex.
oh no, my mum would give all my friends sex talks as well.
My
She's
parents-
like, you get a condom, you get a condom, you
Is your
all
mom
get-"
Oprah?
My parents were so strict until like the moment I turned 18, and then they were like, I don't give a fuck what you do. You're an adult. When are you moving out?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I would like have like girls over, and like my mom would like make them breakfast in the morning and shit, and like wouldn't ask any questions. It was so creepy. And
That's
weird.
actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, that's awesome.
That's an
It was
ideal
pretty
situation.
awesome, but it was always awkward, you
I'm
know.
kind of glad that my mum was really like just, 1 in 3 has an STD. Be so safe. Be smart about this. If you're gonna do it, go have fun, but be smart, because she just doesn't think that people have like a real respect for
Yeah.
sex, and especially if you're not educated well.
And if you're not smart, get tested.
My parents were like, don't fucking do anything. Do not drink. Don't do drugs. Do not get a girl pregnant. Holy shit. Just stay home.
And now you've done all three.
Yeah. I did it.
You showed them.
Yeah.
You rebel.
Take that, mom and dad. You sons of bitches.
love you, Jared.
Anyway, advice
love
to
you
girls
guys.
that haven't had sex yet: just relax and breathe, and just work up your skills after. But the first time, just breathe. That's all.
And if you're a gentleman, do
Be
not
gentle.
fall in love with the first piece of pussy that you get.
What? Why not?
Because
What if it's like you've been dating this person for a very long time, up through like college or high school or whatever, and you guys finally decide to hook up, and you guys were already in love?
Sure, I've never met anybody who like married their high school sweetheart
I know,
and was
like,
like really
I have.
stoked about it. And,
My
like,
roommate
didn't
did.
get divorced or anything.
Raina is a college sweetheart.
Oh, that's such
Is
a
she?
beautiful story.
Yes.
Her and Mike.
All right, well then I know one.
Yeah.
There you go,
My
Jeremy.
dad, I think, met
And you
my
met
mum at
Zach.
18. So like they'd just finished high school, and like
That's a previous generation though.
I don't know. I hear about it.
Our
Millennials
There's
are
another one in
different.
the
Our
office as well. I don't
generation
wanna
has
name names.
online dating sites.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys, I have a very sad question next.
Okay.
From Bugabug asks, what would you do if your boyfriend/girlfriend felt uncomfortable with falling asleep next to you?
I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. Some people have particular sleeping patterns that just don't.
I have a very difficult time falling asleep snuggling,
Yeah.
mostly because
Too
of the-
hot.
Yeah, too warm.
Oh.
Yep.
Or they might have night terrors. Or they might be bedwetters.
Oh.
Or they might have painful erections. Or
It sounds like this comes
they
from
might
experience.
have night screams.
Are you all of these?
I hear about
You guys
night
never wake
terrors
up
a
like
lot.
With a raging boner.
Yeah. That never happens to you?
No, it sounds like you're a pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl sweats. Uh-huh.
I have heard about.
You guys never have sexual nightmares?
No.
I mean, having sex with somebody is one thing, but sleeping with them is another altogether.
I just am a person that moves around a lot.
I toss and turn.
So I
all
can't be.
night.
First off, even if I start in that position, I'll never end up there
That's
next
true.
to them. It's just like I'll be on the other side and trying to get cold.
Well, we're Oh, same. And we're tall. I like to sleep diagonally. So
What, Lily?
I can't say.
Diagon Alley?
You want to
Yeah,
sleep
I
in a
can't-
baseball dugout?
No, I just can't say it properly ever since Harry
Diagonally.
Potter. Yeah, it came out diagonally.
Since Harry Potter? Oh, like Diagon Alley.
Yeah. Diagonally.
Oh, wow. That means...
Anyway, the bed, you get more space when you're sleeping. Oh my god, you just realised that. No way!
Holy shit.
Diagon alleys, diagonally.
That's crazy.
Diagonal. I can't say it
Wow.
anymore. I
So wait,
can't say
you sleep on a
diagonally.
bed like...
Yes, diagonally.
It's gummy.
Diagonally.
That's fantastic. I sleep normally because I have a long bed.
No,
Are you in like a little twin
no,
bed?
I got a long bed, but I like space. And I usually fall asleep on my stomach, but it looks like I'm mountain climbing. So one leg's down, the other one's out here, and then I'm like this.
I've been heavily addicted to NyQuil recently, so I just
Ooh.
fall asleep like that.
Hey, that's
scissor.
dangerous.
Is that what? No, that's
Oh my
cough
god, slizzit then scissor.
Sipping on the scissor.
But if you slizz, because wasn't number 5?
Yeah, slizzing on the scissor.
I'm not
Yeah.
understanding these ratchet terms.
Slizzit then scissor.
Do you ever syrup the sliz? That's the Bill Cosby maneuver.
Okay.
Oh.
So
What's the next question?
it's not normal. Okay.
You weren't lying about getting messages. You just got 2 messages then.
From the same girl?
Didn't you?
Are you writing her
How
back?
do I get that sweet, sweet cooter? How do I get a girlfriend? And then how do I get the pants off of said girlfriend? We already talked about that. How do you properly slide into a
Time.
girl's...
Be patient,
Ooh.
young Padawan.
How do you... What is the most successful way to slide into a girl's DMs?
What does that
DMs?
even mean? I keep hearing
Direct
this.
messages?
Oh, yes, on Twitter. The new... it's actually the new, like, matchbook. Like,
Getting into a girl's DMs?
Oh, so have her follow you back so that you can
Oh, yeah.
converse on a private
I recently
level.
followed a live cam girl, and she never messaged me back.
So you strutted into her DM only to be shown the door.
Okay.
Why, yes. But I had no hopes for that anyway. I was with some friends, and we thought it would be. Because she followed me back right away. We're like, hey, let's see if Steve can hook up with a... Nope.
Oh my goodness,
that's how
that's
that
so
ended.
funny that this is just this generation.
If you want somebody to follow you
What?
back,
What?
you
What the
should
hell
tweet
was
creepy messages at them constantly every day. Probably like once an
Yeah,
hour.
play it cool.
Yeah.
Aren't you a millennial?
Have you ever had it when you were first dating and then you would swap numbers and someone had to call your home phone and there was the potential that your parents would pick up the phone and they'd be like, it's Melissa.
Yeah, I had that happen.
You know Steve is like 20.
Yeah, I had that happen to me.
That has
22.
never happened to you.
I was in the era that it was like you
Well,
had
it's just-
the house number.
I had
was
a
like,
pager.
Hi, Mrs. Smith. Can you please?
Well, it's just like, my girlfriend went to another school or whatever, so it's like you guys wouldn't know her.
I used to have a phone in my room that was like a bronze elephant with a rotary and like a giant like ivory handle.
That's so sick.
It was so cool.
That's so
The
sick.
worst
Why don't
part
you
is
have
though when you hear the click and you're like, Mom, get off the phone and
Yeah.
film it.
No.
Yeah.
They always
love
try to be
you.
sly, like they're spying on you, but like they don't think you can hear that.
Oh,
click.
I have had that.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys, I'm a part of this. Wow.
Just. You
Oh
slid
my
into
Just
that
barely.
Conversation.
But it was not with girls.
What do you mean?
It was with my friends, who were never girls in elementary through.
Oh,
Okay, so
your voice just broke.
so
I'm like you.
it's because I have a
I'm
very
old.
I have a very sore throat,
I'm sorry.
and you guys will probably get sick, especially during. Let's get you guys sick during. I don't feel sick, just so you know. It's just a horribly sore throat that I can barely swallow. It hurts to swallow. It's like 1,000 dicks.
You guys say like you put the whore in horribly. It's horribly.
No, horror stands for workhorse.
What does slut stand for?
Seriously
Likeable and
unbelievably
unbelievable
talented.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
guys, shut up. I think it's finally time that we ended this shitstorm. Thank you both for coming out. I'm Steven Suptic.
Can you imagine if you took a shit and it started like, and there was literally a shit storm? Actually, if we say that, the guys behind Sharknado will probably use it.
The mind of
I would
Mark
watch that movie.
Garrett's an enigma.
No, it's corn. I don't even remember eating corn. No, all
Pretty
that.
good still, though.
I'm Lord Garrett.
Steven Suptic.
I'm Jeremy Azvito.
Jeremy, why don't you say a final sentence?
A final sentence?
Something
Give us
that's
out
going to
with a bang.
finally send us out.
About what?
Like a life message.
Oh, well, usually I like to just say, see you in hell.